Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're heading to a really stunning place. We're going deep into its luxury property market. I'm talking about Phuket. That's P-O-O-Cat.
Yeah.
And look, if you're dreaming of high-end spots or maybe smart investments there, it's definitely pronounced Phuket, not Phuket.
Yeah, it's a market that's just, well, brimming with opportunity. And it's got this unique mix, doesn't it? Natural beauty and really sophisticated development.
Absolutely. And guiding us through this today, we've got this great article from Ocean Worldwide.
Ah,
Now, Ocean Worldwide, they're not new to the scene. They've actually been based right there in Phuket since 2004.
wow, that's serious experience. Nearly 2 decades.
Exactly. That's, 2 decades on the ground, seeing how this market has changed and grown. Sandra O'Neill, she's the director there.
Right.
Apparently, she's helped thousands of families and investors find their way in Phuket real estate over the years. Their focus is super specific too. Luxury homes in Phuket and also Koh Samui.
Well, that kind of deep local knowledge, it's just invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially in a high-end market like Phuket.
Mm.
You really need that long-term presence, that nuanced understanding that an established agency like Ocean Worldwide brings.
Couldn't agree more. So our goal today, to pull out the key trends shaping Phuket's luxury property world right now and, get a feel for the developers making the biggest waves.
Ooh, good.
If Phuket's high-end scene is on your radar, well, think of this as your shortcut to getting up to speed. Okay, so let's dive in. What are the big things driving all this interest and growth in Phuket's luxury market based on what Ocean Worldwide is seeing?
Well, the article from Ocean Worldwide suggests it's kind of a perfect storm of factors. First, there's a big jump in demand, both from local Thai buyers and, importantly, a lot of international buyers. They're just drawn to Phuket's appeal.
Yeah, you can see why.
And at the same time, what's really interesting is how developers are approaching design now. They're really focusing on blending their projects with the island's amazing tropical landscape. It's not just about plopping down a building anymore.
Right, it's more integrated.
Exactly. Crafting spaces that feel like they belong there, like a natural extension of the environment.
So it sounds like the idea of luxury itself is changing in Phuket. It's not just about the price tag.
Not at all, no. High-end amenities, they're almost becoming standard now. We're talking, really slick integrated smart home tech, for example.
Yeah.
That's almost expected.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you absolutely cannot ignore the huge role of foreign investment. It's really fueling this sector.
Okay.
And finally, there's this growing and I think really crucial focus on sustainability.
Yeah.
Eco-friendly practices. That's increasingly shaping how things are designed and built.
That focus on blending with nature is really interesting. It paints a picture of a very specific kind of luxury. Now, Ocean Worldwide's article mentions that key developers really influence the luxury scene there. They say it's competitive. So who are the main players and what makes them stand out?
Yeah, Ocean Worldwide is spot on about the competition. You've basically got two main types of developers shaping the luxury market in Phuket.
Okay.
You've got your really established firms, the ones with long track records, and then you have newer developers who are bringing in a lot of fresh, innovative designs.
Right. The old guard and the new blood, sort of.
Kinda, yeah. The established players, they've built their reputations carefully over years, often decades. They're known for quality, reliability. The projects tend to last.
So buyers feel confident with them. They've seen their past work.
Exactly. Seeing a portfolio of successful projects gives buyers a lot of confidence. They know the developer can deliver.
Makes sense. They're maybe the safer bet. What about these newer developers then? The ones with the cutting-edge ideas?
Well, the newer ones, they're injecting a lot of energy into the market. They often want to make a name for themselves, so they pioneer fresh ideas, more modern architectural styles.
Pushing the envelope a bit.
Yeah, definitely. They might experiment more with new materials, different construction techniques. For them, it's often about innovation, sustainability too, and integrating that latest smart home tech. That's how they attract buyers looking for something different, something unique.
So they're shaking things up.
They really are. Their presence is a big part of how Phuket's property market keeps evolving.
So established guys offer security. The newer ones bring excitement and maybe a glimpse of the future. Okay. Ocean Worldwide also mentions notable projects, saying they can become signature developments. We don't have specific names from their piece, but what kind of projects are we talking about? What makes them stand out?
Right, while Ocean Worldwide might use different descriptions, these signature developments often become almost iconic.
Landmarks, almost. Sort of, yeah. What makes them stand out is usually a mix of things. Location is huge. maybe prime beachfront, or incredible hillside views.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the design, often modern, really innovative architecture. And amenities, of course. That's a given at this level. Private infinity pools, amazing gyms, exclusive clubhouses,
The whole package.
the whole package. And increasingly sophisticated tech, like automated systems seamlessly running everything.
So it really is more than just buying a house, it's buying into a lifestyle.
That's exactly it. Developers in Phuket's luxury market are really focused on creating a whole experience for that discerning buyer. It's about attention to detail, the landscaping, the interior finishes, having concierge services ready.
Crafting a lifestyle.
Precisely, a lifestyle that really clicks with a sophisticated clientele.
Let's talk a bit more about design. Ocean Worldwide mentions a mix of styles, sleek modern villas, but also designs incorporating traditional Thai elements. How are developers using design to create these unique and memorable living experiences? Well, what's really interesting, and Ocean Worldwide points this out, is how developers are playing with Phuket's unique context, both cultural and environmental.
Okay.
So you see this great mix. Sometimes it's super modern, clean lines. Other times they cleverly weave in traditional Thai features,
Hmm.
maybe using local materials or design ideas that give it a real sense of place.
So it feels authentic, like it belongs in Phuket.
Exactly. It's about offering luxury, yes, but also something that feels connected to Phuket's own aesthetic and heritage, not just something you could find anywhere.
Makes sense. Another big thing Ocean Worldwide highlights is sustainable practices. What kind of eco-friendly features are actually being built into these high-end places?
Yeah, sustainability is definitely not just a buzzword anymore, especially in the luxury market. It's becoming fundamental.
Right.
So developers in Phuket are increasingly using eco-friendly materials. They're putting in energy-efficient systems for aircon and lighting. Water conservation techniques are becoming more common too.
Like what specifically?
Well, things like solar panels are pretty common now. And some developers are even using rainwater harvesting systems, trying to minimize that environmental footprint.
And I guess this isn't just about being green, right? There must be benefits for the homeowner, too.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely a growing ethical reason for it, but these features often lead to real long-term cost savings for homeowners. Lower energy bills, lower water bills.
So it's a win-win. Good for the planet, good for the wallet.
Pretty much, yeah. It aligns environmental responsibility with being financially smart.
Ocean Worldwide also talks about integration with nature. Phuket's obviously famous for its beauty. How are developers actually using that in their designs?
Oh, this is key to the appeal, and Ocean Worldwide rightly emphasizes it. Developers are designing properties to deliberately blur the lines between inside and outside.
How so?
Well, using lots of natural materials is one way. Careful landscaping with native plants, big floor-to-ceiling windows to just soak in those views and let the light in. And private gardens, big outdoor living spaces, those are really sought-after features. It's all about connecting with that amazing environment.
So they're trying to create a kind of sanctuary feel.
That's the goal, exactly. To create a living space that not only shows off Phuket's natural beauty, but also actually makes residents feel better. You know, being close to nature, as Ocean Worldwide suggests, is proven to reduce stress, improve your mood. That's a huge selling point in luxury living.
Okay, so someone's looking at this market, trying to figure out which developer is the best for them. Ocean Worldwide says there's no single answer, which makes sense. What are the crucial things a buyer should be looking at when comparing developers?
It really does come down to what you prioritize. But there are some basics you absolutely need to check, like the developer's reputation in Phuket. How do they actually treat their clients? What's the word on the street or online?
Right, reputation matters.
Hugely. And financial stability. You need to be sure they can actually finish the project and finish it well.
Yeah, you don't want them running out of money halfway through.
Absolutely not. And then look closely at their past projects. What's the build quality like? Did they finish on time? How are those older buildings holding up? That gives you real insight into their track record.
Ocean Worldwide uses that analogy of choosing a tailor, finding the right fit. They also mention market share briefly. What can market share tell you and what doesn't it tell you?
Market share can give you a general idea of who's building the most units, the volume.
Okay.
And this is important, it doesn't automatically tell you about the quality or the type of luxury they focus on.
Right.
A developer with a big market share might be doing lots of slightly less expensive properties. Another with a smaller share might be doing only ultra-luxury bespoke villas.
So bigger isn't always better, especially in luxury.
Exactly. It's a data point, sure, but it shouldn't be the main thing you look at. As Ocean Worldwide would likely agree, reputation for quality and what past clients say, that's much more revealing in this market.
Makes sense. Now, thinking about the market forces, Ocean Worldwide points out some key trends influencing luxury properties. Let's start with the demand for eco-friendly developments. They say it's moved beyond just being trendy.
Oh, absolutely. Building green isn't just a niche thing anymore. It's becoming a core expectation, especially at the luxury end. Buyers are just more environmentally aware now.
Right.
They're actively looking for properties that match those values. So that drives demand for sustainable materials, better waste management during construction, energy-efficient designs. Features like solar panels, rainwater harvesting, they're becoming much more common because buyers want them.
And another big factor Ocean Worldwide mentions is the impact of foreign investment. Who are the main international buyers and why Phuket?
Yeah, Phuket is still a huge magnet for international buyers. Ocean Worldwide sees this day in, day out. Key areas sending buyers include places like Russia, Israel, and the Middle East.
Okay. And what brings them there?
It's usually a mix of reasons. Partly investment, wanting a solid asset in a great location that might appreciate, but also lifestyle. Phuket is seen as a safe, attractive place to live, maybe as a second home or even primary residence.
Mm.
Of course, things like exchange rates, the economy back home, that all plays a role.
Hmm.
And you always have to keep an eye on potential changes to rules about foreigners owning property.
Hmm.
That could definitely impact this part of the market.
And it seems like what buyers want is changing too, getting more sophisticated beyond just the villa itself, as Ocean Worldwide notes.
Definitely. Today's luxury buyer in Phuket often wants the whole experience, not just the keys to a nice villa.
Like what kind of experiences?
Access to exclusive services, maybe a private chef on call, yacht charter arranged easily, invites to special events. It's about lifestyle curation.
Ah,
And
okay.
technology is a big part of it, too.
Yeah.
Smart home systems are almost standard, but now we're seeing even more advanced stuff. AI concierges, maybe using VR for really immersive property tours if you're buying from overseas. It's all about making luxury seamless, convenient, and giving access to that premium lifestyle.
Ocean Worldwide also really stresses the importance of community and lifestyle offerings.
Yeah.
It's not just about isolated villas anymore.
That's a really key shift. Many new luxury developments in Phuket are deliberately trying to build a sense of community. They do that by offering lots of shared facilities and high-end amenities.
Like gyms and pools.
Yeah, state-of-the-art gyms, beautiful communal gardens, sometimes even private beach access just for residents, plus things like concierge services, maybe an on-site restaurant or bar, even kids clubs. It all adds to the lifestyle and helps people connect.
And are developers actively trying to get residents to mingle?
Some are, yeah. They might organize social events, barbecues, workshops, that kind of thing. The idea is to give people chances to meet their neighbors, build real connections.
So it becomes a real community.
Exactly. It's about selling not just a fancy property, but also a kind of ready-made social life and a desirable lifestyle. It can be down to how they design the communal areas, encouraging local involvement, offering really personalized services, making it feel like home.
Now, for a lot of people, luxury property is also an investment. How does Ocean Worldwide see the investment potential in Phuket?
Generally speaking, the Phuket market has shown a pretty good track record for long-term value appreciation. So, yeah, it's attractive for investors.
What drives that appreciation?
Well, the island's lasting popularity as a top tourist spot helps a lot. Ongoing investment in infrastructure makes a difference too. And that continued high demand from international buyers that Ocean Worldwide sees.
And what about rental income?
Good potential there too, especially for properties in prime locations with great amenities and good management. Things like being beachfront, the type of property, the quality of amenities, that all affects your potential rental yield.
Is it easy for foreigners to invest?
It's relatively accessible. There are lots of experienced agencies, like Ocean Worldwide, who help both local and international investors. But, and this is crucial, you absolutely have to do your homework. Understand the legal rules for foreign ownership. Get proper legal advice before you commit to anything.
Right. Dot the I's and cross the T's. Of course, it can't all be smooth sailing. What are the main challenges facing developers in Phuket right now, according to Ocean Worldwide?
Developers definitely face hurdles. One big one is regulatory changes. Keeping up with local, national, even international rules, planning permission, building codes, foreign ownership laws. It's complex and always changing. It's a constant balancing act between innovating and complying.
I can imagine. What else?
Economic factors are huge. Ups and downs in the global or local economy, currency swings, interest rate changes, all that affects buyer confidence and investment flow. Developers need to be really adaptable.
And environmental issues.
Yes, that's increasingly critical. There's more regulatory pressure, but also buyers are just much more aware of the environmental impact. So developers have to focus on eco-friendly building, minimizing their carbon footprint, protecting local ecosystems, managing waste sustainably. It's a major consideration now.
Okay, looking ahead then, what does Ocean Worldwide think the future of luxury real estate in Phuket looks like? Any big shifts coming that people should know about?
Well, there are a few things that could influence the market. Changes in global interest rates or currencies could definitely impact international buyers. More competition from other luxury spots in the region is possible too.
Mm.
And as we mentioned, any new rules about foreign ownership could shake things up.
Yeah.
But Phuket has some fundamental strengths. That amazing natural beauty, the established infrastructure, that should keep it attractive.
So developers need to stay nimble.
Absolutely. Being able to adapt to whatever changes come and constantly meeting those evolving buyer expectations, that's going to be key for success.
And those expectations seem really focused on experiences and sustainability now.
Exactly. That demand for lifestyle, for experiences, and for genuine sustainability is only going to get stronger. Foreign buyers, especially from those key regions, will likely remain very important.
What about technology?
Technology will probably play an even bigger role.
Hmm.
Beyond just smart homes, maybe more AI, more VR for buying and managing properties, and we might see more advanced construction tech, like 3D printing or modular building becoming more common.
So the future looks like more green, more tech, more community.
That seems to be the direction, yeah. A bigger focus on sustainability, smarter tech integration, and really building those vibrant communities, not just standalone houses. But the overall feeling from experts like Ocean Worldwide, who are right there on the ground, is that there's still strong growth potential for Phuket's luxury market.
Well, this has been fascinating. A really great deep dive into Phuket's luxury property scene. It's clear, it's dynamic, constantly changing, shaped by developers, by demand for sustainability and experiences, and by that strong international interest. And just to remind everyone, this insight comes straight from Ocean Worldwide. They're a really respected agency, deeply rooted in Phuket since 2004. That kind of long-term, on-the-ground experience gives such a valuable perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. You just can't replicate that kind of local knowledge and firsthand observation when you're trying to understand a market as complex as Phuket's luxury sector.
So maybe something to think about as you consider what luxury living means around the world and how places like Phuket are evolving. What does luxury living actually mean to you? And how do you see that balance between incredible natural beauty and cutting-edge modern development playing out in these sought-after destinations?
Yeah, it's a great question. It makes you think about our relationship with luxury and also with preserving the environments that make these places so special in the first place.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.